video going here. Now, where we got to was number Lamed in the Makorov Tziyunim. And so we'll read from, just read again for the flow, number, where it says, Tleisar Yakim Lom Barachme. Well, let's read the top first. Tresar, there's 12. Yakim Lo Barachme. They will rise, something maybe like that, in mercy. Mischadshim B'Kadmisa, and they will renew them like at the beginning. So then he said, V'shlosh Esrei Midos, I'm reading across the top here now, in the Pirish. V'yishlach Esrei, so he said, what, V'shlosh Esrei Midos shall rachamim dedikna de Erik Anpin, Yakim es Ashtaim Esrei Shalosh shall Malchus Atachtayna, they will revive them, I guess. V'ya'alach abasam l'shorsham ha'elyon b'das elyon, dedicted to Erik Anpin. Now, he says the Das Elyon that is located in the dicta to Erik Anpin, v'az yis'ala bebechinas gevuros, and then they'll come up, be elevated from the level of gevuros, shel malchus atachtayna, the bechinas rachamim gedolim to Erik Anpin. That's as high as this would go, he says. Ki shorish ha'elyon shel shteim esrei shalos, because the root of the concept of the 12 hours, shel malchus atachtayna, where does the root of it come? In other words, it goes back to where it originally came from, the mala, b'shneim also into the, I guess, the lower 12 tikkunim of the dicta to Erik Anpin. It seems like why did he say 12, not 13? So the first one is not included, or what does it mean? So we're now on number Lamed. Trying to see if my glasses, this is small for me. My glasses not quite right, but okay, so here we are, number Lamed. So number Lamed says, Inyan Shorish Yud Bey showers the Malchus B'das Elyon Dediknet Erik Anpin. Now that's the phrase we are working on. Kabavur B'Yilkuti Torah. And it says, V'zel Lashono. Negdam Yosalomala B'das Elyon. Now he says like this. He says, when he said Das Elyon, and previously he said the phrase was the Dak Elyon of the Dikna. Now he says the Abba B'Ima, the Das Elyon. I think he means that's Elyon of Abba B'Ima. The Haina Zikna, Dikna, that is the beard. So he says the beard. So he's placing it for us to try to understand it. Okay, let's hear. And then he says, we have the word Maslos. Vehem Yud Beis Maslos, connected Yud Beis Chodoshim, and it corresponds to the 12 months. Okay, Im Chodesha Ivor, together with the Chodesha Ivor, it makes 13, Tikuni Dikna, Ad Kan. And that's a new kind of concept that goes through there are 12 Maslos, and they correspond to the 12 months. And then you have the extra month makes it the 13 tikkunim of the dikna. So, Valpi Zera V'Bir B'Zoyer Chai, he says, Khan. This is what it says there. So what we call the 12 hours of Malchus down below, places the das the dikna, so that there's actually 13 of them. Tracer the das the dikna yakum lom. So that's the phrase. 13 of them. The das the dikna of the das that feeds the dikna, yakim lom, will revive them, or stand up then, sheta'ala elu yud bei shaos, so that the yud bei shaos ad sofa das elyon, until they reach the end of the upper das, the dikna. Muach, or a muach, of which he says, what is the muach called avira? Okay, I know we saw that, but I forgot it already. This word tekufos, meloshin toikif hadin. So I translated before as cycles before. We said that Malchus was something had to do with tekufos and numbers in tekufos. Here he says tekufos means tough dinim. Oz yakim lon aloisem barachamim gedolim, and then they'll revive themselves, or they'll be stood up for elevated barachamim gedolim with tremendous mercy. Rachamim da'atek adkan. V'inyan hevdech ben yud be'ishos and mazlos, the malchus shehem dinim. So the difference, let me say, the inyan of the difference between the 12 hours and the mazel. We had the mazlos, we had the hours. The malchus shehem dinim, the ben yud be'ishos umazlos el yonim. Okay, so we were saying that he said the Indian that have the ben yud bei showers and mazels, the malchus shehem dinim, the ben yud bei showers and mazels of yonim shehem rachamim, rei b'yalku b'lekuti Torah. Excuse me, v'yotzer hanal v'zel l'shona. HaMazlos atzvam enum ele b'yesod. The mazlos, have we said before, are in the yesod. V'cheshbonim, and the count of the mazlos, but it's the concept, I guess the energy of the malchus, of the mazlos there, is what he's saying. He said, v'cheshbonim shehem ha'shalos heim b'malchus. So when you count them, which are the hours, because hours, again, are in malchus. Ve'edach malchus hem dinim kenizkar v'dikuni zohar v'dikun kafala v'zel l'shona trin eser mazlim kashim sitrin dedin. So what is he telling me? Is he telling me that the days that we living in here are days of din? I'm not sure, because we have 12-hour days. But in the yesod there's still rachamim ad kan. Regan b'yapasha shabir kam v'zel l'shon tleiser yakim lon b'rachmei. So Pirish hayud gimel tikuni diktach kadisha de erikan ben yoyer the yoiru, they will shine b'olamos of the yisaknun, rebuild them. V'yakumba olamos b'rachmei ad kan. Rei od ba'otzer bi'urim. There's going to be more, and just going to make that note and see. Back in the back where we saw it previously. Let's go over here to now we're on number Lamed Aleph. These are really short little pieces. So reading from the back in the Pirish Rahut from number Lamed, it says, Mischadchen bekadmisa, and then we'll bring them back to renew them like they were at the beginning. For us, hey mischadchen kavatachila, b'ma'ala gedola, a tremendous elevation that they would receive. Over Yoser Seis, it would be absolutely the very most choice. And then of a komo called Inun Shita. So then we're just to look at these number Lamed Aleph and Lamed Beis down below. He says, Rei Bezor Chai Sham, look over there. He said, Oz Mizchadshim Bekadmisa, that phrase, Kakodesh Baruch Hu Yechadesh Olam B'Ma'ala Gedoyda B'Yosef Say. So this is he's quoting where we got that, where the phraseology is quoted. Ad Kan Rei Od Ba'od Urim. Once again, he says, look over there, we have more to say. Number Lamed Bet is Benidvus Issa Kan Begursius Besogri. I don't think there's that much there. Let's go to after number Lamed Bet, and let's do this. Let's read the top of this page. So he says, then it will arise, v'kamu kol inun shita. They're all going to rise up. Begin dechsev bara, because he said created is in the past tense, lebasa kasev haisa. The Hal Havsa, in other words, it was a situation that was, but looking at it now, I guess he means in the sequence where it starts to rise, the Hal Havas Vadai, it really existed. And then in the end, and you had all of the emptiness that it fell into. The Nizgav Hashem Levado Biyomahu, and Hashem will be ruling by himself at that time. So we have a little bit of a Richos on number Lamed Gimel, and it says Kamosha Amar La'el, like it said up above. Shisha Alfei Shinin Talyan B'Shisa Kademoy. So the 6,000 years have to do with the first 6 days of creation, restated in the Torah, V'rei Mashad is Boyavsham. Lashon Inun Shisa, when he says these 6, Mashbech, the kind of Shisa Ha'amur La'el, it's talking about the 6 that we mentioned previously. What does that mean? V'rei Ba'adim B'maron, he said V'zal Lashono. Shisa Alpe Shinin Havi Alma V'hav Charav. That's our phraseology, one of total destruction. Okay, back again. So he says, V'rei Ba'adim B'ma'aron. That's where I'm at now. He says, V'zal Lashono. Shisha Alfei Shnin Havi Alma V'chad Charov Ki Siyam Vav Yomim, at the end is the Levad. So he says, what? Siyam Vav Yomim Levad Shehem Zayin Yomim Sovavim, which are 7 surrounding days. V'hu Sod Tracer Shasi. This is the concept of the 12 hours. Now let's look at this again here. He says, Shisha Alfei Shinin. Okay, we got the number 6. Hein Alma Havi Alma V'chad Charav. So that's the whole phrase. That makes 7. Ki Sodam Vav Yomim, because their secret is the 6 days Levad, by themselves. That's the 6 days. Shebechem Zayin Yomim Sovavim. And then around them, I don't know, is that what he's saying? Shebehem Zayin Yomim Sobavim. There were 7 surrounding days. V'hu Sod HaTracer Shasi. These are the concept of the 12 hours. So I'm not sure how he counted it up. Let's see what he says here. He says, Ki Shisha Alfi Heim Sod Shirusa. This is the secret of the beginning. But then after that, there's the completion. That's a very mysterious phrasing. He's a subject. He says, although the root of the whole thing are the 6, let me read again. Shorish HaKol Hem HaShisha HaSholtim are the 6 that control Besod Chol, that is the 6 days of the week. Chol, Ata, that's where it is now. V'hoya Bechem HaCharov, and then there came to those 6, he used the word, then came after that, I guess he means V'hoya Bechem HaCharov Besod the Shabbos. Then comes the day which is the Shabbos, which eliminates the patterns, which I guess Hanhagas really means patterns also. He said patterns of the 6 days, and then it comes into something completely renewed. Komu kol inan shisa. So he says that all of the 6, as a result of the 7th, all come, they're komu, all rise up, these 6, adkan. That's a very, very convoluted or hidden language here. V'rei excuse me, V'rei Bahadras Melech Shabir Ka'ayin Zeh explains under the Lefi Darko V'rei Sham other places. Now, if you would like to read it just one more time, we might just get a little bit more sequencing out of it. you see where it says at the bottom of the previous column, the second to last line, it says Shisha Afa Shinin Shinin Havi Alma V'chad Charov. He says Sodom Vav Yomim. So the secret of this is the concept of the 6 days, the Vad, by themselves. I guess he means what? To separate them and put in a category. Shebechem Zaim Yomim Sovavim. That amongst them, there's the actual 7 days. I think I'm going to translate it mean that it means there's a group of them. There's 7 of them. Vuhu Sod HaTracer Shati. So this is the concept of the 12 hours. Now, exactly how we got that, you got 7, you got 6 and 7, but it's the concept that 7 is the concept of 12 hours. I don't know. He says, Ki Shisha Alfe Haim Sod Shirusa. So the 6,000 is the concept of the beginning. V'achar yesh siuma. Then it comes to conclusion. So it's going to have a beginning and an end. Ak shor shakol chem hashisha hasholtim b'sod chol ata. But he says the root of it all are the 6 hasholtim that are in control b'sod chol ata. Just thinking he means that's the way it is now. And then on the whole, then you have at the end of that, the metaphor is Shabbos, which is beautiful. Okay. Then after that, everything becomes renewed. I guess this is the concept of Shabbos as well. Kamu kol inin shisa, and it elevates everything that came into it, which is the 6 days of the week. That's the metaphor. Let's go to number Lamadawid. So there's a little arichos here. So let's go to the bold print. So he says, maybe I'll read the Pirush Rahut. Let me read the Pirush Rahut. He says, maybe raya the gam la'achar kiyam olam hazeh b'sheshesh yemei sheshesh alafim shana. Tihiyeh b'bechinas churban. Then there's going to be destruction of all of that. It's going to be wiped out. And he says once again, the hanhagas ha'olam, the patterns of the world, hanhagas of the olam, which is their anpin, hazer besod tohu avohu, it'll go to a non-functioning state. Begin dechsiv bara, because it says there's going to be an end. That's what we were saying. It's going to be an end to this. Shaharecha bekodim kasev b'torah pasuk habrisha v'reishis bara. So first of all, it wrote Bereshis bara. He created it in the past. The Basik is a hoisa, and then it was v'ata achakach kasev pasuk hasheni hoisa, because hoisa tohu avohu. So we say that it existed. Because it was already, this creation was something took place in the past. That's really what he's talking about. He says that this is actually telling you that the world lasts 6,000 years, and in the end, it goes back to Tohu Vohu, L'Besofa Shesha Salafim Shana, Az Yihya Tohu Vohu V'choshech, and darkness. So the word darkness bothers me a little bit, because I would have thought there was a little bit light. So let's see what it says here. Reba Hedras Melech, it says Shabir Khan, that he explains over here, of Zelashono. Begin to ksiv bara, because it wrote bara. Bara Havas Vadai B'Shasa also Shkiyum. There was for 6,000 years it endured. Ulabasov Tohu Avohu, but in the end it came to this case V'choshech, because told the V'choshech. Elef Hazayin, that it became destroyed in the 7th millennia Ad Khan. V'chein rei v'ferish asulam. So also see in the Pirush of the Shulam Khan, he said b'shum shekasid bara, because it wrote bara. V'achar kach kasav choysa. Then after that it wrote, and it was. Shemashma sha'atach kvar and nanu, which is mashma that it already ceases to exist. V'hu ki choysa v'adai b'sheshes al vishonis, that it was existed really for sure in the 6,000 years. L'besof be'elef hazayin, he tohu ubohu v'choshech ki nechra, because then it got destroyed. Adkan. Sifra D'tzniuta, the also that what we saw previously in Bavur, Shachabapasuk Choysa Tohu Muvohu, etc. That one. Over there, it's not talking about this. It's not talking about this beginning and this end like concept, and then a redemption. It's not talking about that. Over there, it's talking about before the tikkun. Beam came Eich Mefarish Khan Shachabapasuk Ein Rechab Vohu La'achar Kiyam Olim Shis Al Bishnin. So he says, Yesh Lomer, you could say answer like this. The Khan Darish Mitzad Gedimus Pasuk Bereshis Bara Kodem the Pasuk Choisetohu Avo. So he said because it was created and existed before it came into the situation, you could darshan it like this. Before it came into the situation, in other words, already created. And then it came into the situation of Tohu Vo. Of the aromas, the Bechinas Tohu Vo Shenis. It's the second time that we run into this situation of Tohu Vo. So what bothers me is because the language, that's exactly, my question, is exactly is language just like the language at the beginning. So v'zecho aromas, the Bechinas Tohu Vo Shenis. So I think somehow your phone has a governor on it, but it's like going every 5 minutes, it goes off. So anyway, let's see. So we got to this idea. So he says, but you could darshan it like this. And the use of the words in the past tense indicate that it was an existing situation, and it really goes backwards. So, I'm bothered by the word dark, because dark really sounds like the first one. It's in the broken situation, everything is dark and maybe possibly hopeless, and then there's a salvation comes out in 6,000 years. I hear that. Now the second one, though, on the other hand, use the word dark again. So does it mean everything's going to go black? Because it said also in other places it's going to lose its mara, or it's, they use the word chazon also, or chazayon. So anyway, so bohu shenis shetihi achar kiyam olim shis al vishnin, which will happen after the world is completed 6,000 years. He said, so it's Shanan. So this is what he goes on to this language, V'regam be'otzer. So there's more in the otzer. Now, when we get done with this, which is right here, we could go look at the otzer if you'd like, and we'll see. Look at it. Then after number Lamed Daled, we're going to go to Lamed Hey, and it's after Lamed Daled up in the Pirush Rahut. It says, Shuhu inyan bitl v'churban hanhagas olam hazah. So this is that concept. He says, V'elef ashvihi ka'amor, v'az yiskayim a-pasuk, then you'll have this pasuk, v'nizkav yudke vavke levada b'yom ha'chu, that Hashem will be by himself up above. We saw the idea that yesterday you talked about that this is a relationship of everything going back to Sag, the original Sag that we talked about way back when. Okay, let's look at number Lamed Hey. So he said, V'haydacha be'elef hashvi, that is in the 7,000th year. The Oz is take b'lechadoy, then it will become powerful by itself. B'lashon Sifra D'tzniuta, that's he says, he's quoting over there. He says, over here rather, V'chein mashbecha begirsis asvar mecherecha b'buba b'sifra D'tzniuta, so he's a v'zal d'shana v'kulim escharev V'Ravadal Kasav V'Nizgav Adkan. B'chein Rei B'Gemara, also look in the Gemara, V'zel L'Shana, Shisa Al Peishani Have'ama. So he said, V'chad Charov, Shen'erev V'Nizgav V'Shem Levada B'Yom Malchus. So it brings the site references where we see all of these languages. V'Adkan V'Rei Gam B'Zohar Chai Kan, B'Otzi B'Urim. So, let's see, we have, just a few minutes. He says in Otzer Biurim, we were previously on page Taf Yud Gimel. Let me see what he says in the, what did he say over here? Where is he? He says, Gam Bi'otzer Biurim, Perek Aleph, Siman Lamed. Is that where I was? No. Siman Lamed. No, where was it? On Taf Kof Vav. We were there once before. Lo Have Mashgichen Apin Ba'apin. That's not the one. Let's see. I thought I had, I have a mark. Oh, I found it. Taf Kuf Yud Zayin, Bereshis Bara. Remember we did a little bit there?
That wouldn't be it.
No? Beer Sifra, that wouldn't be it? Bereshis Bara?
We didn't do that now.
What do you mean?
That's what we're learning right now. Taf Kuf Mem Aleph.
Taf Kuf Mem Aleph, he said. Oh, because he gave it, okay, Taf Kuf Mem Aleph. Really close to where I was. Let's see, Mem Base. Taf Kuf Mem Aleph was the site reference he says right there. Oh, I was going to start going through those Biurim. Let me see. Taf Kuf Mem Aleph. V'Nizkav Hashem Lavadel.
Yeah.
Okay. But look to the right of it. It said begin Diksiv Bara V'Labasa Kasiv Haisa. That's all of our Indian. And then on the next page it says V'kamu kol inan shisa. They get back up, and then he says then the next one is Zaman HaChidush U'Mechus HaChidush. And then previously to that he says he Mischad shows B'Kad Misa. And this starts on page Taf Kof Lamed Zayin. Placer Yakim Lom Barachme. That's our subject. Do you want to start here? Would you be interested in that?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't looked at it. I could read a little bit of it. We have 1 minute or 2 minutes or?
2 minutes.
Okay. So I haven't looked at it. We'll look at it. This is on page Taf Kuf Lamed Zayin. Placer Yakim Lom Barachme Mischadshim B'Kad Misa. I think I would rather go somewhere else. Because that part I think was fairly well explained. But if you go back to Taf Kuf Lamed Hey, it says Betrays or Shati. Now that to me is more obscure. How he got from the concept of Zeranpin is the Maslos, and then they're in the Maslos there, and they're counted in Malchus. And then he called them Shams. Just one other one, Vischarev Kula, that's on page Taf Kuf Lamed Aleph. And then we have Shaviyah Alaichul Vistake Belhudoi. He's going sentence by sentence where we're at right now. Shita al Pishnin Talin B'Shita Kademoy. That's the beginning. Are you interested in going all the way back to the beginning of this section?
What page?
This would be page Taf Kuf Kaf Hey. I believe this is the beginning of our piece. Yep. All right, we'll take a look at that then. Thank you very much. All the
I might
best.
not be available for davening.
After davening today, you mean?
Yeah.
I got you. Okay, Kol Tov. Well, thank you for learning. I appreciate it.